Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's exciting challenge. Which one is heavier? Have you ever picked up something and thought, wow, this is lighter than I expected, or this looks small, but it's really heavy? Sometimes, weight can be tricky, but if we pay close attention, we can figure it out. Today, we'll compare different objects and see which one is heavier. Some might surprise you. Let's begin. A bag of cotton wool versus a bag of coffee beans. Here are two bags, one filled with soft, fluffy cotton wool and the other with tiny coffee beans. The cotton looks big, but it's actually very light because it's full of air. The coffee beans, even though they look small, are solid and heavy. That means the bag of coffee beans is heavier. Sometimes, big things can be lighter than small things. A balloon versus a bowling ball. Look at this big balloon and this bowling ball. The balloon is huge, but it's full of air, making it very light. The bowling ball, on the other hand, is solid and made of heavy material. That means the bowling ball is much heavier. Even if something looks big, it doesn't always mean it's heavy. A cup of feathers versus a cup of sugar. Here's a cup of soft feathers and a cup of sugar. They are the same size, but which one is heavier? Feathers are very light and take up more space, while sugar grains are tiny and packed tightly together. This makes the cup of sugar much heavier than the cup of feathers. A toy car versus a real car tire. A toy car looks just like a real car, but is much smaller. Now, look at this big car tire. It's made of thick rubber and is very heavy. Even though the toy car has the same shape as a real car, it is much, much lighter than the real car tire. A gold ring versus a plastic toy. Here's a tiny gold ring and a big plastic toy. You might think the toy is heavier because it's bigger, but gold is a very heavy metal. Even though the ring is small, it's heavier than the plastic toy. Some materials are naturally heavier than others. A bottle of water versus an empty bottle. Which one is heavier? A bottle full of water or an empty bottle? The bottle with water is heavier because water has weight. The empty bottle might be the same size, but without water inside, it weighs much less. A wooden log versus a paper notebook. A notebook has many pages and looks thick, but a wooden log is made of solid wood. Even if the log is small, it's still much heavier than a notebook because wood is dense and packed tightly. A brick versus a sponge. A sponge is big and looks like it could be heavy, but it's very light because it has lots of air inside. A brick, even if it's small, is made of hard material and is much heavier than the sponge. A stack of books versus a pillow. A big, fluffy pillow looks large, but it's full of soft stuffing, making it light. A stack of books, even though it looks smaller, is packed with paper, making it heavier. A soccer ball versus a watermelon. A soccer ball and a watermelon are about the same size, but a soccer ball is filled with air, making it light. A watermelon is filled with water and fruit, making it much heavier. A metal spoon versus a plastic spoon. Both spoons look similar, but the metal spoon is much heavier because metal is a dense material. The plastic spoon is very light because plastic isn't as solid as metal. A bag of rice versus a bag of popcorn. A bag of rice and a bag of popcorn might look similar, but rice grains are tiny and packed tightly, making them heavy. Popcorn is full of air, so the bag of rice is much heavier. A large cotton candy versus a small chocolate bar. Cotton candy is huge and fluffy, but it's mostly air and sugar, making it very light. A small chocolate bar, even though it's tiny, is solid and much heavier than cotton candy. A stone versus a piece of bread. A piece of bread might look big, but it's soft and airy. A small stone is solid and dense, making it much heavier than the bread. A bucket of sand versus a bucket of marshmallows. Both buckets are full, but sand is made of tiny, heavy grains, while marshmallows are soft and full of air. That's why the bucket of sand is much heavier. A glass marble versus a styrofoam ball. The glass marble is tiny but very heavy because glass is solid. The styrofoam ball is big but light because it's full of air. So the glass marble is heavier. A pair of sneakers versus a pair of flip-flops. Sneakers are made with thick rubber and fabric, making them heavy. Flip-flops are made of thin material, making them much lighter. That's why sneakers are heavier. A bag of flour versus a bag of potato chips. Flour is packed tightly in a bag, while potato chips are light and full of air. That's why the bag of flour is much heavier. A bowling pin versus a soft teddy bear. A teddy bear is big and fluffy, but it's filled with soft stuffing, making it light. A bowling pin is small, but made of solid wood, making it heavier. A metal key versus a paperclip. Both objects are small, but metal is much heavier than paper. Even though a key and a paperclip are made of metal, the key is bigger and thicker, making it much heavier. That was so much fun. Sometimes, the heavier object isn't the biggest one. And sometimes, the lightest thing isn't the smallest. If we pay close attention, we can understand how weight works. Now it's your turn. Look around your house and find two things to compare. Which one is heavier? Try picking them up and see for yourself. Thanks for learning with us today. If you liked this video, don't forget to follow the channel for more fun learning. See you next time.